guys, I'm Laurie with Hamburg Honey. It is January 22nd, 2023, and it is 16 degrees out. This winter we have not been able to open our bees. It's been very cold every day. So we really don't want to open them and check on them, even though we'd love to peek and check their clusters out, check their food supplies. Unfortunately, we have to go with an alternate route of checking these bees out. A lot of people, well, some beekeepers have FLIR cameras, which allow you to see the heat signatures of the bees inside, to check their clusters, make sure they're alive, make sure they're, in their cluster, but we don't have that opportunity, so we have to manually check without opening them. So, to winterize our bees, we have roofing paper wrapped around all the beehives, except the ones on the end that are made of styrofoam. And we cut a little hole in each one so we can see that the bees are in here. This allows them to make their cleansing flights on warmer days and get water and resources that they can get in the winter. We can see the bees moving around in their hive and they're happy. We don't want to bother them too much, because if they fly out at us, they freeze, they fall to the ground. It's too cold for them to be out here, so we try not to bother them too much. If we look into these holes and we don't see the bees, we'll knock on the hive, and then they start buzzing and coming up to see what's going on. But other than that, we really don't try to bother them too much. We have a variety of hives here. We do really well overwintering our bees here in Wisconsin. It gets so cold here. And these are all our 2-box hives. They're 10 frame Langstroth, but we have them 2 boxes high. These were all our super hives. This one, actually, we did late queen breeding in the summer, and our queen mating nukes were rather small. So we didn't want to lose those bees. I mean, they all had good queens, and they were just smaller. So this is actually 3 hives in 1 colony. But they're all separated, so the queens can never see each other. They're all separated with their own food supplies. They all have their own holes to come out and forage, whatever resource they need to do, cleansing flights they take in winter. So this is actually 3 hives in 1. We did that with another one on the end I'll talk about in a few minutes. See, a bee just flew out. Now it's... Yeah, this is the only time you'll see me without a bee suit. Down here we have our 1-box high hives. This one is actually not a 10 frame. It was another one of our mating nukes we had. Yeah, I can hear them buzzing in there. So we've left it in a 2-box nuke to overwinter them in. And then these are our 1-box high 10 frame hives, and they too, let's see, oh here, they're already up there. You can see this is a very, very good hive. There's always lots of bees at the door. So when we overwinter them, after we wrap them, we have in the top there's two inches of pink foam insulation to help keep them warm. And under that, we make candy boards, fondant candy boards with essential oils, so that if they do run out of their honey stores, they have something to eat, till we can open them up in maybe February. Down here, this is another one of those queen mating nukes with two hives in there, 2 sets of bees, 2 separate queens. We've never tried these hives before. We bought these. It's all similar to a Bee Max, but we got these through Blue Sky Bee Supply. And we're trying them for the first time this year. And this one has 2 hives in it, so 2 queens. And it has an opening here like this on the opposite side of the back. So on these 3 hives we have it closed off, but this one we have it open on the back and the front. We knock on the hives, we can hear the bees inside. We don't really want to make them mad so they come out, but it is too cold for them to be out. So right now, this is what we're doing with our bees over winter. There's not a whole lot we can do with them till we can open them. We have an electric fence around it still because we have black bears here. Yes, they're hibernating, but it's not uncommon for one to wake up and say, hey, I want a tasty treat. So we keep our electric fence on, we just disconnect the bottom because of the snow. And our fence stays on year round. So just in case one of those bears decides to wake up. But Mike has a few things he'd like to say, so.
Yeah, this is one of our standard setups that we have for our apiaries in the winter. We push all of our hives together. It produces a lot more thermal mass, which allows them to stay warmer even on those coldest days. The woods that you see behind it, this is an excellent windbreak. There's usually never any wind in this area. And then we also have the woods to the west side, which prevents the wind as well. If you don't have an area quite like this, you can put up some plywood around the backs and the sides of the hives, just depending on your primary wind direction in the winter. Most places in North America, that's just going to be from the north. As you can see, there is nothing for the bees to eat right now. It is towards the end of January, and we've been really surprised by these small hives that Laurie was talking about. Each of these hives, in this hive right here that says the 5G and the hive number 10, those are only 6 frames of bees in each of those hives. So as beekeepers, we always like to do a lot of experimenting, pushing the limits and seeing what the bees can actually survive in the winter. And I have been surprised by these so far. They're doing really well. Luckily, our January has been really warm compared to normal years. This January, we haven't had a single night below 0 yet. But in November and December, we had probably 20 evenings that it got below 0. So it was an extremely cold November and December, but January is shaping up pretty well so far. My wife is going to take the camera here. It looks like in about 6 weeks, the bees will start waking up, being able to make their flights. They do it occasionally now. If it's sunny and it's 35 degrees, they'll come out, buzz around a little bit, make a cleansing flight, and go back in. I've been keeping records quite a few years. The soonest we've ever had pollen available for the bees was March 1st. Normally, it's more towards the end of March. So, you know, that's 6 weeks yet before they'll start getting pollen. But I'm really hoping these small hives will make it, just to really see what we can push as beekeepers in a cold climate like this. It should be totally lost my train of thought. It should be available to open up the hives probably the beginning of March when it hits 40 to 45 degrees. We can crack open the tops, just check and see what their food levels are. If any of the hives need food, we'll give it to them quick, and then just let them coast through until the end of March, when we'll start really feeding them some pollen patties and building up their populations, so we can start doing splits probably in the middle of May. So it was just nice to get out today. We don't really get to do a whole lot of bee stuff in the winter here. You know, we fix our equipment, we run through, we make new hives, we build new frames, but we really don't get to interact with the bees at all for almost 6 months. So it's nice just to get out and take a look, see how they're doing. And as soon as it warms up enough that we can open them up, we'll make another video and show you guys how everything did, how these tiny little 6 frame hives did, and you'll have to wait just like we will. Thanks.